Hello everyone, welcome to Everest Technologies. So today we are going to learn on how to use React Query as a global state manager in our React project. So in here I have set up a small project. We have the UI of a counter. So this is our counter level and our buttons. So if we look at our app.js, we have the main, and if we go to our main, we have counter level, which is just a paragraph tag, and where we will show our current counter value. And we have buttons. In here we have add button and the subtract button, and when this increment button is pressed, our add function is called. For now we don't have anything, and if our decrement button is pressed, we have subtract, and for now we don't have anything. So to use React Query, we should have React Query in our application. I have already installed React Query in our application. So we have version 4.18.0. So the first thing that I will do but first, for the project of this scale, we can just include everything in the same component and use our local state to make it work. But for the sake of this video and to learn how we can use React Query as a global state manager, I have separated the components. So to use the React Query as a state manager, the first thing that I'll need to do is I'll create a client. So in here I'll create a client, new query client, and I'll export default our client. After creating a client, I'll go to the app.js and wrap our main with query client provider, copy this and paste over here, and here client, and the client that we have just created, I'll import the client from. So after our main is wrapped with query client provider, I will then create a function that will take care of our state. So use React Query global state.js, and over here I will create a function, use React Query global state. This will take key and initial data, and it will return an array. The first thing in our array will be use query itself. So in the version 4 we have to provide our key in the array, so like this. And the second thing, it will return initial data, comma, and sorry over here, and it will be okay. So let's import our use query, and our query options will be enabled false, and our initial data, and we'll return the data from over here. The second thing in our array will be a function that will take a value and set our value to the new query. So I'll import the client first, client.set queries data, and it will take key and a value. So I'll save this and I'll export default our use rq global state. So for now I'll go to our counter level over here. So constant, it will give me count and set count. So use rq global state. So it will take a key and initial data. So key will be our count and initial data will be our 0. Let's save this, and instead of 1 I will write count. So we can see that we have 0 appear in our counter level. And for this component we don't need set count. Let's save this. I'll copy this and I'll go to our buttons, and in here I'll paste this. I will import this, and here count and set count. So when we press our increment button we have to add, so set count will be our count plus 1, and here set count will be our count minus 1. Let's save this. So we can see our button is in another component, our counter level is in another component, and we are using the state from our React query itself. So using the use query, and if I go to the main, and now let's try increment 1 2 3 decrement, so it's working. So with this you can use React query as a global state manager in your application. So if your application is huge and complex, so you definitely have to use Redux or something like that. But if you have a small project and don't want to introduce Redux into your project for the small things like this, then you can surely use React query as a global state manager. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.